Welcome to BibleLink. It's great to see you today. BibleLink exists to link the Bible to your life, real life. Noah is a contrast to the rest of the world, a righteous man in the midst of a whole bunch of evil people. You ever been in a situation like that where you were surrounded by a bunch of evil people and you felt you were the only one trying to do things right? It must have been hard for Noah, having to be different from everybody else, trying to seek God's face in spite of the indifference and the people's attitude and the evil around him. Man, he must have been pretty resolved in what he was doing. I think it took a lot of work and commitment on his part not to participate in what everybody else was doing. Kind of like us. Maybe we sometimes see coworkers who cut corners to get ahead, or have family members who get on to us about our decision to follow Jesus, or people who, poke fun at us because they can't wrap their heads around why we don't do all the things that they do. Noah, though, is a great example of self-discipline and strength. He lets his relationship with God define his standards. He doesn't allow other people to do it. How does God call us to be a light to those around us when it seems like everyone else is doing whatever they want? God tells Noah and his family to get into the boat that he built, and he sends the animals his way. And then the flood comes. Floodgates burst open on the earth, rain falls for a long time, and every creature on the land, every creature is destroyed. And God's judgment in this passage, man, it can be hard to swallow. We want to say, really, God? Wipe out every living thing? God was grieved about this decision. He was sad about how creation had turned out, so far from how it began and so far from God's vision of what it could be. But in God's sorrow, he didn't just throw up his hands and do nothing. He didn't completely disengage and leave us alone. He brought punishment like a loving parent might, not some raging maniac. And remember, God punished sinful people, not spotless, first-class citizens who loved helping people around them. God's judgment is difficult to swallow. But then again, isn't discipline always like that? Maybe there's a situation in your life right now where you're on the receiving end of discipline, or maybe you need to give discipline. God shows it isn't just enough to feel bad. Sometimes we have to take action. If you're receiving discipline right now, maybe you've considered that some of your actions must have made another person feel like the discipline is justified. Perhaps that could make us a little more receptive, even if it's difficult to receive correction. All in all, this passage is a call from God to rise above the status quo. Are there places in life where God wants to correct you? Are there places where we need to give correction or receive it? Are we, like Noah, in a situation where we're surrounded by people who want to drag us down? What would it look like to stay true to who God calls us to be? And how can we do that humbly, in a way that loves others and desires the best for others? What else did you notice in chapter 7? Thanks for engaging in BibleLink today. Join the conversation on Facebook, ask questions, make observations, and don't forget to invite somebody to join us. See you next time.